How are you today? My name is Miss Anne. Nice to meet you. So, I'm sure you've heard from your classmates that I am the new school counselor. Yes. So the reason for these appointments, I'm having them with all the students at the school right now, is to create a relationship with you, to build some trust. I want you all to be able to come to me with anything that you might be struggling with, anything you want to talk about, whether it's positive or negative, whether you're struggling or proud. You should all be able to come to someone at the school to feel safe and heard and not judged, because I am not a teacher. None of your grades or anything are affected by what we talk about in here. Everything we talk about here is completely private. I will be taking notes, but those are just for me and for you. They are for me to look back on and measure your progress and to update things and everything like that. Although today is an intake appointment, which is technically just a way for us to get to know each other a little. So there's some basic questions here for you to answer. We can talk about them as much as you want or as little as you want. And by the end of the appointment, we should be able to come to a conclusion on whether you want to continue to see me on a regular basis, or you just want to come once a semester, or anything like that. We have quite a few options now that I've taken over here as head of the counseling department. Whether you want to do regular counseling with me or group therapy, things like that. We have lots of options now so that you feel comfortable. I want to also ensure that you know these appointments are not just for college counseling or for school or anything like that. This is counseling for any of your mental health needs, anything you need to talk about, whether it's your family, friends, stress, anxiety, depression, anything like that. I am here to talk with you, to listen, to help you kind of see things from a different perspective. Now, I will not be offering advice because that is not what therapists do. I will be listening, helping you see things in different ways, and figuring it out for yourself. Now, if I do notice anything severe, if you have a severe anxiety disorder or depression, or anything that I think is more advanced than what I am here and what I'm trained for, I will recommend you to see a clinical psychiatrist. I will not tell your parents about this off the bat, but if I offer it to you and recommend it to you and I find out that you haven't reached out further, I will have to let your parents know. I won't tell them anything you said to me in any of these sessions, but I will have to let them know that I do recommend for you to see a psychiatrist or psychologist if it gets to that point. I am not foreseeing that, but it is something I do have to let you know of just in case that does happen, okay? Okay, now how does all of that sound to you? Now, I have quite a few questions here. They range from very different topics. You can answer as openly and honestly as you want. The more open and honest you are, the more you will get out of these sessions. And you can also keep quiet if you don't feel like talking. That is totally okay. What I can do for students that don't feel comfortable talking is I can send you a form via email that you can fill out and take your time answering these questions and send it back to me that way, just until we create a more comfortable bond. Okay, so would you rather have that, or do you want to stay and talk face to face? You do? Okay, great. So let me know if you need any clarity on these questions, if they don't apply to you, anything really. If there's anything you specifically do want to talk about, I will ask you about that at the end of today's session. But for now, we are going to get into the questions that I have preset for everyone, alright? Okay. I'm sorry if you can hear it. It sounds like the janitor's cutting some grass outside. Yes. Okay, so the first question that I'm going to ask you every time that you do come in here, which could be, once a year, once a semester, or once a week, is going to always be, how are you feeling today? Okay. And in comparison to how you feel most days, how would you say that differs? school questions, okay? So are you happy with your performance in your classes as of now? So it is December. We're almost to the midway point of the year. Do you feel like you're doing well in your classes? You're satisfied with how you're doing, with your grades? And which classes do you feel like you're unhappy with? Okay. And do you know why that is? Okay. Now, do you participate in any extracurricular activities, whether that be sports, clubs, groups? Oh, that's great. That's good to know. And how often do you do that? Okay. If you don't mind me asking, how did you get started with volunteer work? Oh, wow. Okay, that's great. And this is going to be a question that's very silly, and you've probably seen in all TV shows and movies with therapists, but how does volunteering make you feel? Great. I'm really happy to hear that. And now you also mentioned that you have a job outside of school. What is that? Okay. And do you enjoy that? Oh, you work with your friends. That's great. That actually adds into my next question is, do you feel that your school life, your work life, your social life are balanced? Yeah. Okay. And how are things at home? Okay. And what do your parents do for a living? Okay. So they work 9 to 5. All right. Do you feel that you see them enough and you spend enough time with your family? And your relationships with your family are good? Okay, great. Now, how would you rate your satisfaction with your everyday life, things that you do, like work, school, your friendships, between 1 and 10, 1 being low and could be improved, 10 being fantastic, perfect? Okay, and what do you think would help to increase that number? Now, do you think that you have control over that? Okay, so is that something that you think you'd want to work on in future sessions with me? Okay, great, okay. Now, have you seen a school counselor before? I know that you are. Yes, okay. Oh, okay, it was only about classes. Okay. So to kind of give you an idea, this, like I said, is not going to just be about your classes. You can also come to me for schedule changes and things like that, but the reason I'm here and the reason for us having these appointments is for your mental health, and so that you have an adult to confide in, whether it means you confide in someone outside your family or a teacher or friends, just a completely unbiased person in your life that you can talk to who won't judge you. Okay? And now if you do have any questions about things like classes or schedules, you can always email me and we can sort that out via email. You don't need to make an appointment for everything, but if you do want to come and talk face to face, you can make an appointment. I actually have a open schedule online. If you go to the school's website and go under my name, you will find a schedule where you can fill in your own slot if there's one available that day. Now, if you ever have an emergency or something you really need to talk about, just please email me. There is a specific email for urgent appointments. So if you need to talk to me right away, that you can email there, okay? Okay. Now, what is it that you are hoping specifically to get out of these appointments, if anything? Okay. Okay, so I'll jot that down. Okay, and so we are going to be measuring your, not success, but your growth, your progress, your personal growth, even in school. So is there any goals that you want to achieve by or next appointment, by the end of the semester, the end of the year, by the time you graduate, that you want to discuss with me. This could be anything from saving money to getting into college to learning how to trust. It can be, yeah. Okay. Now, the school administration does urge me to talk to you about your future. Now, I will be doing that, and I would love to know what your plans are, if you have any, how you see your future going. But I do want me to ensure you that I will not be pushing anything on you, whether that be college or job or travel. Your future is up to you, and I never want to make you feel like you're making a wrong choice, or that if you don't choose college or a four-year college that you're doing something wrong or that you're failing, because you're not. There's a lot of different ways to succeed in this world, so what we will talk about in regards to your future is what you feel comfortable with, what you want, what your plan is, and how you plan on achieving that goal, okay? So is there anything, I know you are still very young, but is there anything that you know that you want to achieve in your future that you think talking about in these sessions could help with? Okay, well, if you change your mind and you ever think of anything, I'm always here to talk to you and listen, and okay, great. Now, this is something you don't have to talk to me about, but I do always ask just in case, because I know that this can affect young people's lives a lot. Are you in a romantic relationship? Okay, and do you find that that relationship is affecting your life in a positive way? It doesn't add added stress or anything to you? Okay, great. And how long have you been in that relationship? Okay, great. Now, I know that relationships can be very personal and it can be uncomfortable to talk to an adult about these things, but if there's ever anything going on in your relationship that you want to talk about, I'm more than happy to listen. That can be things related to sex, an argument, things you're nervous about, things you just don't know about, okay? Okay. For our next question, this is something I want you to really try to think about, and it's something that is actually the reason why the school brought me on as a counselor, so I want you to know that I'm highly trained in this area, if you do feel like you are struggling with this, okay? My next question is, do you find that you deal with anxiety or depression in your daily life? Okay. I do want you to know that it is completely normal, especially for your age and the time in your life. There are a lot of unknowns. Yes, anxiety is completely normal, and talking about it is not something to be ashamed of. It is something that empowers you, and the more you know about it, the better it will be, okay? So, you did say you do deal with anxiety, so do you feel like your anxiety is related to school, work, socializing, school? Okay. And do you think that that is caused by pressure from school, society, your parents? Okay. Now, is this something that you say affects your everyday life? Something you're having anxiety attacks, panic attacks, or that you have mild anxiety, generalized? You've never had a panic attack? Well, that's good. Yeah. Do you feel like it's pretty steady, your anxiety, or goes up and down? Yeah. So things like tests or papers will increase your anxiety? Okay. So we can definitely work on that in these sessions, and if you ever feel like you need more specific treatment for your anxiety, please do let me know, and I can refer you to a clinical psychiatrist, like I said earlier, and we can get your parents involved. Like I said, they do not have to know the specifics, just that is what I recommend, okay? So do let me know if you ever feel like you want to take that route. Okay, great. Now, if you could know something about your future, if you could go to the future and see something in your future, what would you want that one thing to be? It could be if you're married, if you have children, if you make a lot of money. Okay. Why do you think that is? Okay. Now, another thing we like to focus on in these sessions is positivity. We want your self-image to be as high as it can be. We want you to grow your confidence. Teenage years, especially high school, can be very triggering and can be a big struggle when it comes to self-confidence. There's a lot of things changing in your life right now, and confidence can be lacking for a lot of people. So what we're going to do in these sessions, along with anything else I've already mentioned, is work on your positive self-image. We want to improve how you view yourself so that you see yourself as worthy of happiness, okay? So one of the questions I will continually ask during sessions is, what, as of recently, are you most proud of yourself for? Oh, that's very sweet. You should be proud of yourself for that. That's great. That's fantastic. Another thing that I want to ask is your happiest memory. It can be something from childhood, something recent. Okay. Seems like your family definitely is very important to you, because a lot of what you're mentioning had a lot to do with spending time with your family and your siblings. Yeah, that's great. Okay. Now, what would you say calms you the most when you are upset, frustrated, angry, sad? I mean, it can be taking a bath, it can be watching your favorite movie, hanging out with your pet, going for a walk. Oh, that's great. I would always recommend fresh air and exercise. Okay, great. Now, how would you say that you handle or respond to stressful situations? I know you did say you get anxiety when it comes to school, but if something stressful happens, something that you didn't plan, maybe you're late to a party or you get grounded or anything like that, how do you initially respond to those situations? Why do you think you do that? Okay. Now, is that something that you think is healthy, or something that you want to work on, and maybe you can flip these stressful situations into something that is more positive? Yeah. Okay, we can work on that for sure. Now, this is a question for the school, and the answers will be completely private, but how would you make this school a better environment for you and your fellow students if you could change anything? Okay, that's great. Oh, that's a great idea. Okay, all of these suggestions will be going to the Board of Education, and they will be looking at what stands out, what most students have been mentioning. Okay, great. And then, what is it about yourself that you like the most? I know this can be a silly question, it can be hard to answer, people don't want to seem cocky or overconfident, but it's a very important thing to know that you like yourself and that you look at who you are, your personality, who you are as a person, and there are things that you are happy with. So during every session we will also be asking these questions, okay? If you can't think of anything today, that is okay. We'll worry about it next time, but I do want you to think about it and think about what things you do or anything about yourself that you do enjoy, okay? Okay, great. Now, we're coming to the end of the session, and based on your responses, I think that we can do once a month sessions, one-on-one, if that's something that you think works for you. Okay, and we do also offer a group therapy for specific needs. If you want to talk about anxiety, we have a depression group therapy, anxiety, and lots of other ones. I would specifically say the anxiety one would be best for you. Right now we have about 10 students sign up, It's only once every 3 months, and we can do it more often if, more people want to come and more people want it more often. So it is a group therapy where everyone who joins is, I don't want to say sworn to secrecy, but it is anonymous. So even if you have classes with people, or you work with them or you're friends with them, it is completely private, so nothing that is said in that room should ever be repeated outside of it. So it does take some trust, but if you're interested in that, I can sign you up. You can think about it. The first session isn't for another 4 weeks, so you can wait until our next appointment and we can talk about it some more if you'd like. Yeah? You want me to sign you up now just to hold a spot? Yeah? Okay, great, I'll do that. Now, if you ever want to make an appointment that isn't going to be our scheduled monthly appointment, then you can email me. You can always come into the office as well. I might be with another student, but you are feel free to wait. You can also leave a note or a message for me at the desk. So is there anything else that you want to talk about before we part ways today? Oh, of course, that's exactly what I'm here for. Now, if you think of anything before our next session, like I said, you can make another appointment, but what I would urge you to do is to journal, or at least make a brief list. You can do this on your phone, of things that come up that you may want to talk about. I find that a lot of people tend to think of things that they want to talk about in therapy, and by the time the next appointment comes up, they've forgotten or get nervous. So if you want to make a list, that would be great. I think that if you do that, we will get the most out of your next session. Okay, great. So I will email you our next appointment, and you can always let me know if that doesn't work for you. All of our appointments are during school hours, so you don't have to take time away from extracurriculars or anything like that. The group therapy appointments are after school. They're only 45 minutes long, and like I said, it's only once every couple of months, so it shouldn't be too hard to pencil that in. Okay, so I will give you a pass so that you can head back to class. There you go. Okay, it was very nice to meet you today. Okay, have a nice rest of your day. Okay, bye-bye.